Ooh,
Hello.
ooh, did she say it? I didn't hear her say it, but yes, we're here.
Hello. We are here.
Oh,
Hello,
hello,
sister.
hello, hello.
Oh,
Hello.
hello to all of you. It feels like,
Welcome.
and welcome. It feels like today we could use no words and you and I could just do exchanges like, all right.
I'm so in that um
Mm,
activated space. I really feel like language is my second choice
mm,
for right in this moment. And it is like just coming up to vocalize. Just ha, mm,
mm.
ha.
This is
Mm.
okay. Here's what's percolating. So Stacy and I always have like a little check-in dialogue with each other because one, I love her and we have this deep love for each other. So
I love you.
before we episode, like before we go live, here's what's coming up from some of our conversation because you just said activated. I was pondering on this weekend, and I know you are in this, and it's a very fine line. Because so I'll give an example. This weekend, I was so activated, which was crazy to me because given the amount of sleep, I should have been like tired. I am a body that needs 8 to 9 hours, like,
Hmm.
but I wake up on Saturday. I find myself in a vortex, which I'm like in our still community. I'm in it from literally 9 to 4. And I walk
Yeah.
out of this vortex of like, oh my gosh, did I literally work like this entire time on a Saturday? This is what I'm doing. Why are you doing this? You could have been outside. You could have been da 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 da. And then it's an immediate like higher self coming in. Did you
Yeah.
enjoy it? Were you
Right.
enjoying this? And I'm like,
Right.
"Fuck, yes, there's nothing I'd rather be doing. Like it's the surge of activation from
Ooh.
doing something that is lighting you up.
Yeah,
And then
absolutely.
the direct opposite when it's not such a lit up thing, that like energy pull of the things that aren't your like super juice jam, which I'm going to get to do after this call is go in and do some data numbers, all the things.
Oh, this is so good.
She's clapping her hands. We're doing this if
Yeah.
you're not over on
I'm like,
on our
I
YouTube channel.
I have a tendency to like clap right by my chin, like ooh, ooh, ooh,
She
which is
excited.
interesting. Like
She excited.
right prayer hands in front of throat chakra, like
Mm.
Um, thank you for bringing that up. What what really dropped in reflecting on that, as you were talking about it and about my staying up till about 4 a.m. working on things. Similarly, like, yeah, I'm moving some stuff forward. Is this big distinction between work and labor, like so totally different. I love when I work, like I thrive in it. I love who I'm being, the creativity, the energetic charge. And so, yeah, I can lose track of time. And so I do need to watch that. But it is very different than that feeling of something being laborious and that energy drain. Like I remember being in corporate and I did an energy audit all the time. But I
Mm.
remember one of the very last times I did it, it was like, what the, are you kidding me? You mean from the moment I wake up to the time that I go to sleep, there are only 2 moments in my day that I feel like I'm actually working, like working in my gifts, working in my joy, working in my creativity, working in my purpose. Like that's it. What am I doing? And at the time, I had almost a 3 hour commute to that place and a 3 hour commute
Oof.
back. Yeah, truck driving for real. And what? Wait a minute. And it was that last energy audit where I said, oh, no more. Mm-mm. Here's my commitment to myself. I will no longer allow myself to be in a situation of labor. That's not what I'm here for. That's not the energetic exchange and agreement I've made. That's just not it. But that work thing, love. Like last night, I loved getting the final things ready for my women who are in my container. It's our last day today. Um, oh, but it just felt so good. Just like with still, when we're working on anything still, it doesn't matter. Like if it's 1 in the morning and I'm dropping a Voxer note, or it's
It's so, yeah,
Saturday
yeah.
all
Well,
day and you're dropping Voxer notes, like it's
you're
just
bringing up
different.
such a potent piece here. And here's what I like, here's what I've been aware of, because the reality, if we do a tune in check reality,
Yeah,
there is no way to get out of doing some laborious tasks,
absolutely.
because there's always going to be that. So I've found, how do I find the space that is always coming back and deeply connected to my devotion? Because like it's been for me getting so clear on what I'm devoted to. So it's like I am beyond devoted, as you know, to the nest, my retreat
Hmm.
sanctuary outside of Asheville.
Hmm.
I am like the devotion to the vision that was cast on me years ago will always trump anything else that then is in my like we talk about this 3D space. I know several episodes ago we were like in the circumstantial, like this space.
Absolutely.
It's like such a practice, don't you think? Because I'm in constant of going between this, like this is labor, okay, find that place that is so
Hmm.
connected. Because I
Hmm.
know you're in some things with dissertation and like finalizing your
Woo!
PhD, all these things. Like that's not all like, oh, this is lighting me up. I want to speak to the
Girl,
absolute
no.
truth, because this is some shit that I think is out there in the world that's like, find the thing that gives you light, and then you'll never like have to work a day in your life. Like, please.
Man, come on, stop. Yeah,
Yeah.
those
I
are the
need the
things that
reality.
like
I need the
get
reality.
me. Like they get me. The reality is exactly what you're talking about. It is that devotion, but that comes from knowing, like
Mm.
taking those times throughout your day and bringing yourself back to that centered space of going, yeah, this is laborious. Like me on a Google sheet documenting every single article that I'm reading, extracting from it who the author is, what the year is, what the methodology is, what are the results of their study. Like, girl, that is not fun. That does not feel like working in my bliss. What I can do before I even
What
start
are you
that
what are you
task,
telling me? That's not fun.
and for somebody else, it lights them up. Oh, for somebody else, it's their thing, right?
True.
It is just not for me. It's not my thing. However, before I start on anything that's not my thing, I am asking myself, yes, energy audit, is it draining me or energizing me? For sure, for sure. But I'm asking myself, if this is a laborious task or something that just like, oh, just don't want to, can I create this as a labor of love? This is just part of what has to happen. Like we've got to push to get the baby out. We're going to love on the baby and all of that. We've got to do these things, the heavy lifting, for the bigger purpose, for the bigger goal, for the bigger vision to come to fruition, right? If it's in alignment with that, I can very quickly get myself into a space of going, you know what? It's all for the greater good of this project or what I have going on. I can take solace in that. I can feel good about that. And I can approach this with just as much appreciation and gratitude as I can approach interviewing these women, because I'm all in on the interviews, right? But when it's
Mm.
not aligned and I do my energy audit and I do the centering and realize, oh shit, this is just labor. Like labor for what? For nothing? In my brain, it just gives me this image of being somewhere and someone saying, here's your charge for the day. Take all these boxes and move them to that side of the room. Great. You get over there, you do it. Now take all those boxes and move them back. And that's just what I'm doing. Like, what is the point? Like, what is this for? And yeah, it hopefully brings you to a choice point where you can find the devotion to the thing, or you find the devotion to yourself, your purpose, your calling, and going, this ain't it. Mm-mm. I'm getting ready to make a plan to go into a space where I can work from a more devoted place and have work versus labor all day long. But that's a choice we all get to make. Many of us are not even consciously aware of this stuff going on. But that's the point, right? We get to not be so steeped in the 3D world that we forget that we're spiritual beings wrapped in human flesh. That means that we need to take care of our spirit. We need to take care of our well-being and let it manifest, like through the flesh, of course. But how often are we called workaholics and all of that? And we
Well, I
take
just
pride.
think
I'm proud. I'm busy.
this is
Stop.
such a powerful opportunity to reframe what does work mean to you, because the word work in my body is like, ugh, it's a little gritty. But when it's connected to something that I love, like honestly, I don't think anytime when I've been inside doing like that work that lights me up, which is like the creative, I will go in portals, y'all. Stacey.
Absolutely.
But I don't think I've ever called it work. So I'm
Yeah.
like trying to capture a word that encapsulates.
Absolutely. We get to find
What did it
what
drop it in the
feels
comments?
aligned. Like, what is this?
What do we use? Because it's
What is
not
it?
work. It's like, yeah, it's a deep, deep, deep space.
It feels, I mean, obviously we know the descriptors of it, but yeah, I'd love to hear what people have to say in terms of other ways to describe it.
Mm,
I also feel though that the intention, spiritual, original intention of work is not at all what we've turned it into.
yeah.
And so for eons, we've come to have like negative connotations associated with the word work. And I know I was in resistance, like complete resistance. Like, what I do is not work. What I do is innovation. What I do is this. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. And in a heartbeat, I'll say, I'm working on this goal. I'm working on improving my communication in my marriage. I'm working on the like out, it will just come out. And for me, it's the reminder that this thing that we turned it into, that's not what it really is. It's just not what it is. I would love to get back to what it really is, the original intention,
What if
and
it's for
love it.
commitment? It's like commitment is what's coming up.
Yeah, definitely commitment.
Yeah.
I mean, there's discipline involved. Just because we're in devotion doesn't mean we're not disciplined. Because I think to your point, it can get
Ooh,
so
discipline.
woo
I love this
that
word.
there's no work being done, but it could get so worky that there's no real devotion behind it. And I'm all about bringing the woo to the work. I'm all about it. Like that's
Has to be. Has to be.
it has to be a complete harmony
I
of that.
love the word discipline because I think for so long I'd been hearing like, oh, you're so disciplined. Like, you have this determination, la, 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 la. And one day it just dropped of like discipline. Yes, I am, because I am a disciple to my devotion.
Exactly. Exactly.
Discipline has disciple in it. Yeah.
That's where it comes
But
from.
that's like,
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
just think there's such an interesting place to play in with what the world, society, all the things is like putting on this work realm. And I
Yeah.
just give you
Yeah.
lots of love because I see you and your devotion to all the things.
Mm,
And we see all of you out there, all the little things
absolutely.
that if you go into comparison, you might be like, wow, Stacey and Jill have this still, oh, I've always wanted to create a podcast. We might do a show that is behind the scenes.
Ooh, we will let you see how the sausage is made. Oh my gosh. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you, Jill. I so appreciate that. And I give you so much love and honor for your discipline and your devotion. It's evident. Like you embody it. It's just evidence. And I believe that that comes from like a true knowing of self. Like if I'm
Mm,
choosing to be disciplined in something, is it coming from my sovereignty of choice and what I'm choosing to be aligned with? Or is it coming from what the world expects, what my parents expect, what my children expect, what my friends I grew up with, what they expect, or whatever the things we're hearing all day or seeing on social media, society's expectations? Is it coming from there? Like whose devotion is it?
mm,
Whose devotion is it that we're really living out? And if it's not our own, when are we going to decide to choose our own devotion? And no, I'm not saying, you're in your job, go quit it today. I'm not saying that.
mm,
That is not in the heart of discipline and devotion. But I am saying you get to take a step back and go, what is really happening? What is really happening? Am I flourishing? Am I drained? Am I energized? Am I depleted? Are the things I say matter most to me in life getting my leftovers? My
mm.
family, my children,
That's the
my
ticket.
partner? Where's my joy? Am I abandoning? Like I had this whole webinar I used to do. Maybe I'll bring it back, but it was all about identity in your dreams. But I had these 4 stages of it, and one of them was abandonment. Like sometimes we make conscious decisions to abandon our dreams, to abandon the identity we know we are because we need to take on these other identities to do what we need to do in the world and all of that. But at what cost? Like, what is that doing to us?
That's a
Why?
big one that's been coming up lately that I've been reflecting to clients is like, and what's the price you're paying?
Absolutely.
What's the price you're
Absolutely.
paying for this repetitive pattern that you've been on almost entire life, or not taking action on something, or feeling like you need to go get more credentials before?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, like, for anyone out there listening, this practice, because I know you have a practice too. There has been so many times in the recent months, because I've been challenged. I know you've been coming up against challenges of like, I'm just like, what am I doing this for? Like, it's just been, I mean, I thought in my head, oh, the fall will be out, will be like the nest will be fully rented for retreats. Ah, it's gonna be great. No, so many more things. It's like, no, she is like, you will not leave yet. But it is this anchoring. I literally visualize and I'll just use this, like the nest is a sanctuary for all. That has been a grounding anchor before I even found this beautiful magical land and I literally visualize myself anchoring like down into the core of the earth. And it is just
Hmm.
this like root.
Hmm.
And if y'all have
Hmm.
like gardened or you've been out and you got a root, let me tell you, those things do
Mm.
not come up.
Roots are for real.
It is like, so when I am like challenged, there's like all these things like this isn't to
Right.
code or like this got to be or da 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 da. I am like, oh, the stronghold of the root to get the investment money, to support,
Ah.
to get the da 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 da.
Oh.
Mm,
Oh.
mm,
Oh. Chills. Your visual, like it just lands really well with me. Like drop in the comments, y'all, if you can actually see like this anchoring, like imagining that you are anchoring yourself, not to be moved, fully grounded, not off center, not getting blown with the wind, but like really
mm.
anchored. One that comes up for me, and maybe I need to do this today, but always for me is like this tree, like tree of life. It's this tree, and it's like roots from me all the way to the core of the earth, the center of the earth, like holding the roots, reminding me I'm held, I'm supported, I'm grounded. And as far deep as these roots are, that's exactly how high and broad I can spread and be. And the me In between, I am the tree trunk. And that has to be in alignment. It's coming from the roots. I'm standing on the roots,
Like,
trusting the
I'm
roots.
my
And
little
then
girl.
I've got all my branches of everything I'm doing.
I'm trying. Oh my God. I'm trying not to laugh. I'm taking this in, but you have no idea. This is just so funny. Like my little girl's like, because that is literally how I explain. Like that is my same explanation. And it's like, and the
Absolutely.
brand. So it's just so like, I
Yes,
just love us and our higher selves.
I
So
know.
it's so
My little girl
funny.
gave that to me like years ago. She gave it to me, and I was like, "Yeah, that's cute." I just
Who
kind of
else is a
like
tree? There's
whatever.
other trees. Who else is a
Yes,
tree?
who is a tree? And like, check your roots, y'all. Check your roots.
Mm.
If stuff is not blossoming and blooming in the way that you
Ooh.
desire in your life, check your roots.
Mm.
Check your roots. Are they
And
deep enough? Are they grounded enough? What kind of soil are you planting them in? Is it fertile? Are you
because
nurturing?
roots run all the way. You and I are
Oh,
connected through
yes,
our roots. You know,
yes,
Stacy's up
yeah.
in Buffalo. I'm down in Asheville. Like, what is your supported, connected roots? I love that question. Like,
Yeah, yeah. Check
how
your
are your
roots.
roots? Yeah.
And there, thank you for bringing up the connection piece because there is this connection and it may be unseen, but it is not unfelt. When we allow ourselves to feel that underground connection under the
Mm.
soil, all of these roots, yeah, we're all connected under there, like through the same soil, through the same land. We get to ground into that. And I know women, plenty of women, definitely used to be me, still struggle at times, but we've talked about this. And I know it's an overused phrase, but it's true. We get socialized, programmed, conditioned, and taught to lone wolf it. Don't dig into your roots. Don't find the connections that support you. Do it yourself. Don't tell anybody you need help. And in my community, like I'm a strong Black woman. I don't need all that. I take care of everything. And even some research anyway, I won't get into dissertation, but there is a ton of research really showing the question like, and at what cost? And at what cost? Because y'all, I'm sure you've seen the memes, like, I'm tired of being strong. I'm tired of carrying it all, having to do it all. And the reality is, I don't. Not one of us has to do it all. Not one of us. There is so much support available to us. So much support. But yeah, we get to check our roots.
I talk about lone wolfing a lot.
Yeah.
And like I know the loner very, very
Woo.
well.
Yes.
She
Yeah.
I wrote an email once to my community about, and this is, I mean, if you know wolves, like the lone wolf strays from the pack when she
Mm-hmm.
is sick or dying.
Mm-hmm.
So ground that in. If you are lone wolfing from the pack or from community or from your tribe, what's dying or what gets to die? Or where are you
Absolutely.
sick that you need some like mending, tending to? Because
Yeah.
you've
Mm.
talked about and other like this like urgency. There
Yeah.
has just not been another time when it's like mend yourself, sister. Take that time
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
take that action. But like the
Yeah.
loaning, we're not going to get
Yeah.
anywhere in that place anymore.
And I think that's a message so many of us need to hear either for the first time or hear again and have it really sink in. We are not designed to be loners. We are inherently designed for connection. We just are. And if we've gotten ourselves to a place where we've isolated, it's time to check yourself. Like, we have to check ourselves. If we're in that place where it's like work, 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 and I'm talking labor, like work, 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 to the exclusion of connection, to the exclusion of your ability to fully show up and have joy and have a sense of calm and a sense of peace, yeah, check your roots. There's work that we get to do, and we do not have to do this work alone. It's so much safer than we imagine. Have we, look, hand up, have we ever gotten burned by a sister? Hell yeah. I grew up never trusting the feminine. Completely sabotaged, burned, and betrayed. Like, yeah, all kinds of stuff. And so I understand how we got here. And we get to do
The competition.
all the competition and scarcity and the stuff that comes with it. Like, no, the real way is together. The real way is connection. That whole lone wolf thing, if you've ever seen, like, I watch these documentaries about animals, but if you've ever seen any of this stuff, when a lone wolf is ever welcomed back into the pack, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. So beautiful. When they come back to their pack, wanting to get back in, oh, when it is happening, it is a beautiful thing. Same with a lioness. If for whatever reason she is away from her pride, that pride will actually come looking for her. That pride of lioness, they'll come look for her. Are we doing that with each other? Can you
I'm out
check on your
there.
well friends?
I'm looking for you. Where are
I'm
you all
ready to be
at?
found. Like, here, I'm here. Like, come get me.
Come
I'm ready
join
to
us.
come home. I'm ready to come home. Like, this
But really,
gets to
this
be
is,
how we
I
do it.
think, this is one of the core like pillars to the creation of Still. This is a
Absolutely.
community because
Absolutely.
we are here. Stacey and I got lots of fire. We got lots of space is the key to hold this community that's being created. And we're so grateful for every one of you that has come inside. You can join us, stilloriginalpodcast.com, because we got some things. We got some things that have been brewing for God, like a year now, year and a half.
Things are percolating. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
You've been stirring the pot. You've been stirring the pot.
Woo! Yeah, we got
Okay.
stuff. We have some things.
I
We have
can't
some
wait.
things.
Oh my God, I'm
Oh my
like
gosh.
sweating. I know that that's true
I'm
because it's coming.
super, super excited. I'm so exhausted right now and lit up. I was
Isn't that a
really
fun
gonna go back to
place? It's a
sleep
crazy
after
place.
this. Like, no, I'm so lit up. Yeah, I'm gonna go work, not labor. I'm gonna go work on some things that light me up and excite me in dissertation and with my Roar Beyond women.
I see you,
And
goddess.
oh, then we'll see. I'm holding up my mug for those who can't be on YouTube.
I see you.
She's my queen. I'm gonna let my queen run the show today because she knows, and she's like, we're doing this and this, and we won't have any of the rest of it. Thank you. That is all. Okay.
That is all for today. Bye-bye now. Ooh. Well, on that note, thank you all for spending your most precious, precious time. We love you all so deeply. And put in the comments, hey, if you'd love for us to riff, chat on a certain topic, we would love to.
Bring it up and we'll bring it out.
Ooh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We love when we hear from you because it's community. It's community.
Thank you for taking
So
your
glad everyone
time, for being with us inside Still. Until next time. Bye.
Love you.